I hope this finds you well. To date, there have been 1,738 exonerations since 1989. This is Shamar Avery's story. Shamar Avery was charged and convicted of the murder of Jeffrey Stanko in 2000. He was sentenced to 20 to 50 years in prison and was 18 years old at the time of the crime. In 2008, he was released on bail and a new trial was ordered. He was exonerated in 2010 because the prosecution dismissed the charges against him. So here's the story. In January 2000, Jeffrey Stanko was delivering a pizza in Michigan when he was robbed and killed. Jacqueline Barker was a witness to the crime, and she stated that she heard a car pull up near her home and then heard a gunshot. She then looked out of her glass door window and saw 3 men that she didn't recognize. A few days later, however, she did identify the 3 men as men she grew up with, one of which was Shamar Avery. Barker was then presented a lineup at some point, and she was unable to pick Avery out of that lineup. Instead, she picked out another man. Avery was represented by David Langford. Avery told Mr. Langford that at the time of the crime, he was some 30 minutes away having his car repaired. His car was being repaired at a Crimes Towing and Auto Shop. And this is important because Mr. Avery's alibi was a DeMar Crimes, a 16-year-old who he was with at the time of the murder. Langford then sent an investigator out to the crime shop to interview the Crimes. However, DeMar wasn't there at that time, so the investigator left his number and said that DeMar should give him a call. Well, the 16-year-old never contacted the investigator or the attorney. Avery was then tried in 2000, and the witness, Miss Jacqueline Barker, who said she saw Avery, took the stand and changed her testimony. At trial, she was unable to positively identify Avery as the person who killed Stanko. Avery's attorney, Mr. Langford, didn't present a defense or call any witnesses. This isn't uncommon in criminal defense cases because the defense isn't required to put on a defense or call witnesses. However, it's important in this case because Avery was granted a hearing on his appeal in which he claimed ineffective assistance of counsel. DeMar Crimes testified at that hearing that if he had been called at trial, he would have stated that he was with Avery at the time of the murder. DeMar was with Avery between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. At 9 p.m., that's when Avery's car was ready to be picked up. So here's how Avery was exonerated. In 2007, the judge overturned the conviction on the basis of that ineffective assistance of counsel because the judge felt that Langford failed to track down a 16-year-old witness that would have been critical to Avery's defense. In 2008, a new trial was ordered for Avery and he was released on bail. Finally, in 2010, the prosecution decided to dismiss the charges against Avery. It's unknown whether Avery has been compensated yet for the years that he spent in prison, mainly because Michigan does not have a compensation statute for the wrongfully convicted. However, there is a House Bill number 4536, that was introduced on June 15, 2015 in Michigan. A link to that bill is in the description. The bill will allow for $60,000 in compensation per year and other forms of compensation that you can see in that bill. On a side note, the Supreme Court has ruled on how to succeed in a claim for ineffective assistance of counsel. First, a petitioner must show that counsel's performance was deficient and that deficiency prejudiced the defense. Thanks for watching.